Good morning, everybody. J.R. Fisher here. It is a Tuesday, and it's looks like the 4th of May, 2021, and we've all made it this far in our lives. That's pretty darn good. So sit back. We're going to have a great session today. I think it's going to be kind of interesting. I've told this story a couple times, but it's basically how I took $100 and turned it into millions of dollars in sales. And it weren't easy. But I'm going to walk you through it so you can kind of see what it's like. And if you want to make money online and do stuff, hey, you can see what's going on. Good morning there, James. He says it's 84 in Savannah, Georgia. I know where James is at. He's my buddy. Hey, we're going to have 78 here today, James. And guys, also do me a favor. I am six subscribers away from hitting my 5,000. So if you would subscribe, if you would share this with somebody who wants to subscribe and watch these videos, don't have anybody subscribe who doesn't want to learn how to make money online. That's the only audience I want. Okay, I don't want any fake subscribers, but if you would do that for me, I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to ring the bell, turn on all bell notifications so that you are notified each and every time I go live or do a video. James, thank you so much for the sound check. He says loud and clear in Savannah. And of course I smack the like button first thing. That's something that you guys need to do. You need to smack that like button. You really do need to do that. It's so important. So please do that. And any tips? Yes, I've got all kinds of tips today, man. Started stock market trading. Well, yeah, today's probably a bad day in the US to start stock market trading because the market is way down. I looked at my Tesla stock and it's down. Oh, well, I've lost thousands of dollars today, but it's okay. I've made a lot on it too, so that's the way it is. Yeah, the biggest tip I would have for the stock market is buy and hold long term. It's not exciting, it's not sexy, but it works. It always has worked, it always will work. Overall, the stock markets go up. I don't know the stock market where you're at, Siddharth. It is good to see you again, by the way. But I don't know what the stock market is where you're at. And I don't know if you're talking about trading in the US or other countries, and it's different in every country. The only thing I know about is the US. And I know a little bit about that, enough to be dangerous. I used to be a stockbroker too, by the way, just full disclosure, so I know a little bit about it through that. But today I want to talk about, and guys, by the way, what I want to talk about is one thing, but if you've got a question about something else, like he was asking me about stocks, that's fine. That's fine. You can ask me about that. Anything having to do with making money online, and yeah, I would consider stocks making money online because all I do is I go to my website and I type in some stuff and I make money or lose money depending on what I'm doing. The big chaps are always done mostly. The big chaps are always done mostly. Don't quite know what you're saying there. Maybe we're losing a touch in the translation, but guys, making money online is a very interesting prospect. Very interesting. And I want to kind of walk you through why I made money, how I made money, and what the path was. With high profit, not minimal. Those will give you the high growth. Okay. I snack the like button first because I know you're going to share great content. Thank you so much, James. I appreciate that. So let me start you back. I'm working a job, and my job was I was a manager. I was a general sales manager of an automotive dealership. Prior to that, I was the vice president of that group. And I was working a lot of hours, and I've been doing this for years and years and years. And I finally, one day, I just woke up and I said, I don't particularly like my boss. It's not somebody I like. I don't respect him or anything like that. And in addition to that, I don't like the hours. I don't like what I'm doing. I made okay money, but it was always a threat of, you could lose your job the next month if you had a bad month. That's how the car business is. If you had a bad month, they could fire you. You're out. Next guy's in. And then you'd have to switch and work someplace else. And I had been there a number of years. I'm thinking at the time probably 6 or 7 years. I can't remember the exact dates. But in the summer of 2009, I decided I wanted to make money online. And so I decided what I was going to do is figure out the number one selling thing on eBay. Because at the time, everybody thought eBay is where you sold everything. I mean, if you sold online, websites were okay, but eBay is where you really went. Let's see here. James says, is there a difference between sales and marketing? Yeah, sure there are. Sales are what you make, marketing is what you do. So yeah, there's a big difference there. But anyhow, that summer I decided to look on eBay. and find the number one selling product on eBay. And as it turned out, that number one selling product happened to be cell phone cases. And I said, well, geez, people are selling millions and millions of cell phone cases. Cell phones were very popular at the time. Not that they aren't now, but I'm just saying they were just coming about. And this is the summer of 2009. So I said, well, I'm going to buy some cell phone cases and I'm going to sell them on eBay. So I started buying cell phone cases. And back then there was no drop shipping or anything like that. And I would have to buy either 50 or 100. I can't remember what the exact quantity was, but it was a lot. Big box of cell phone cases of the same exact cell phone case. So you would have to invest the money in that. And I had invested $100 to buy some cell phone cases. I think I was, paying 75 cents or $1 a piece. They weren't real good cell phone cases, but they were cell phone cases nonetheless. And I started putting them up on eBay. And I would sell some. The problem is, as I would sell them, I would sell some, make a little bit of money, and I didn't make a lot. I mean, sometimes I'd make 50 cents or $1 on each purchase. And keep in mind, I had to print out the receipt thing. I had to put a receipt in the envelope. I had to buy envelopes. I had to put postage on there. I had to take these things to the post office. So it was an ordeal to fill one order. And what would happen is I would buy one model of cell phone cases, and I would sell some of them, and then they would stop selling because people would switch their phones. So then I would go out and I'd buy another 50 or 100 more cell phone cases, and then I would start selling some of those, and I'd sell a little bit of those, and then that would kind of die out, and then I would buy some more. And what would happen is the extra ones that I had, I would just put in I had a walk-in closet in my bedroom. I was a single dad. I was raising both my kids, and I would just put it in the closet. And after a while, one morning I woke up and I looked in the closet, and it was full of cell phone cases. And they weren't selling. These were the ones that were stopped selling, so they didn't sell anymore. And I looked at myself and I said, this isn't working out. This is not working out. So I started trying to sell them off wholesale on eBay, where I'd say, here's 50 of these and 20 of these and 40 of these, and hey, why don't you go in the cell phone case business? And I lost money. That's essentially what happened, is I lost money. So then I said, well, I'm going to start selling some camping gear. So I found some little knives, and I found some little cook sets. And I'm trying to think of the name of the Coggins. Coggins had all these junky things that were made in China, and I started selling all those things online. And they would be $5 items, $20 items, and I would buy some of those. I would have to buy 20 or 50 or whatever it was of those items, and I'd start selling those online. And I started making a little bit of money. When I say a little bit, maybe a few $100 a month. I mean, if I was lucky, a few $100 a month. And in doing that, I had a little bit of money left over, and I started a website. And on that website, I started putting, the website was called Survivalcave. I started putting some of these camping gear things on there. Now, so far, if you noticed, I had no plan. My only plan was that I wanted to sell stuff online. And the only reason I wanted to do that was because I didn't like my boss, and I didn't like my job, and I wanted more time to do what I wanted to do. So essentially I would be at work at 7:30 in the morning, and I would get home at 7:30, 8 o'clock, maybe 9 o'clock at night. And I didn't have any time basically, before I went to bed. So I at one point I was watching TV, and I shut off all the TVs, and all I did was work from the time I got my kids in bed until the time I went to sleep. Sometimes I'd go to bed at midnight, sometimes 1, sometimes 2 in the morning. But I was really determined. And that's the thing. This is the thing, guys. I was really determined to figure this stuff out, because I didn't want what the alternative was. The alternative was work for somebody else I didn't like, work the hours I didn't like, and do that for the rest of my life, and then have them fire me. I didn't want that. That's not what I wanted. I disliked that idea so bad that I just kept pushing forward. So anyhow, I started this site called Survivalcave, and this company called me one day, and they had survival food, and it was freeze-dried, dehydrated foods. And they said, would you want to sell that? And I'm like, yeah, I'll sell anything. And I just want to make some money. That's all I cared about. It didn't matter to me what I sold. So I started selling this stuff, and it was not great. It wasn't the best tasting food, but it was a product I could sell, and it became popular at that time. And I couldn't tell you why, it just did. Now keep in mind, I wouldn't be selling the survival food if it wasn't for the cell phone casing. So I put it up, I started my site, and I started selling like $4,000 or $5,000 a month. Out of that, I'd probably make 20%, so I was making over $1,000, maybe $2,000 a month, depending on what the month was. And then some world events happened, and all of a sudden the sales took off. And I went from $4,000, $5,000 a month up to $80,000 in a single month. $80,000 in a single month. And I was blown away. I was like, my God, even at 20% profit, I'm making $16,000 a month. So this is enough. This is enough at this point where I can quit my job. So that's what I did. I went into my boss, and keep in mind, I was working out of my garage at the time. So I had these racks in my garage. That's where I kept all my supplies and stuff. And when I was selling that survival food in the beginning, I couldn't afford to buy it and stock it. So when somebody would put in an order on eBay, I would take their money and then I would send the money to the company. The company would sell me one of these buckets of food, and then I would repackage it and I would ship it out to the customer. But I did get to a point with them where they would actually ship it out. I could just send them the money and they would ship it out to my customer. So anyhow, I was doing that, and I hit this month of $80,000, and it was just phenomenal to me. So I went in and I quit my job. I rented this little warehouse. It was around 600 square feet. I had a little office up front, which was really dinky and gross and dirty, and we kind of repainted it. And then it had a little warehouse in the back with a garage door on it. And I started selling my survival food there. And sales started to grow, and I started to do really well. But all of a sudden, they quit delivering my orders. I had orders on eBay that were taking like a week or two to deliver. Some of them 3 weeks. And I would call them up, and they were like, yeah, we got behind. We're going to get on it, and we're going to get some stuff sold for you. And we're going to get it shipped out. And I said sold, I meant shipped out. And I'm trying to work it through my brain here. So they didn't deliver, and it got worse, and it got to be like a month, 2 months. Now, at the same time, what I was doing is I was actually taking this survival food, and I was going to gun shows on the weekends, and I would set up these displays and sell this survival food at gun shows. And I would sell a little bit there. So one weekend, my wife and I are getting in the vehicle, and I don't even think we were married yet. No, not quite yet. We weren't married. She had moved in. And we were going to one of the gun shows, and I had like, I don't know, 300 or 400 listings on eBay. I can't remember what the numbers was. A lot of it was just duplicates of the same thing, because back then you could duplicate your listings. And when I did that, and I was pulling out one morning, I went to look at my eBay listings, and they were all gone. Everyone was gone. And I understand it took me hours to put these listings up. And I was like blown away, like, where are all my listings? So then I checked my bank account, and my bank account was missing over $20,000. $20,000. I was blown away because I had just quit my job. And in the deliveries, I understand the deliveries weren't going out of this survival food. This company, for some reason, wasn't sending them out. So I contacted eBay, and they said, well, you had so many people complaining about lack of delivery that we shut down your eBay listings, so you don't have any listings anymore. And I was like, what? I mean, literally, it took me months to get these listings on eBay, and they were all gone. And then I called PayPal because I had money missing, and I was running credit cards through PayPal. I had this over $20,000 missing. And when I contacted them, they said, well, you had so many people that were complaining about not getting deliveries that we needed to take money out of your account, your bank account, for reserves. Now, I didn't know they could do that. I didn't know that when you hooked up your bank account to PayPal, they could just reach into your account and take money out. But they can, and they did. And I fought it and fought it and fought it. I finally ended up with a lawyer and a state attorney general. And I worked my way through, and I got my money back. But it took me a long time to do it. Matter of fact, I threatened them at first. I said, well, if you don't get my money back, I'm just going to cancel my account. And they said, well, you can do that, but we're going to hold your money for 6 months, and then we'll give it back. I was like, oh, well, what if I don't cancel my account? They were like, we're going to hold your money for 6 months. I was like, whoa, you guys don't exactly play by the rules. So to this day, I will not process any credit cards through PayPal. I will take PayPal payments, but I never process credit cards through there. Matter of fact, they called me the other day and they wanted my business back. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. You know what you did to me 10 years ago? And the guy was like, oh, no, now you've got me to talk to, and it will never happen again. I'm like, nah. So anyhow, that's the situation was in. I had nothing. Okay, I had quit my job. I had no income. I had this warehouse rent I had to pay for. So I finally developed my own survival food, which was a freeze-dried food. Put my own label on it. Set up a website, and I called that site Survival. Excuse me, my voice is going out. I called that site Survivalcave Food, and that was my new brand, Survivalcave Food. Now I still had Survivalcave, but I had Survivalcave Food, and it wasn't selling. Nobody was buying it. Nobody was buying it because they didn't know anything about me. I didn't know how to get my website out there. I started doing ads, and I was spending like $1,500 a month. I didn't know how to do ads. I did them all wrong. I lost money on the ads. I was pretty much just losing everything I spent every single month because I didn't get any sales off it. And then one day I got the idea. I said, what if one of these sites, these survival sites that had a lot of traffic, was selling my food? What if I could put my product on their site? As a matter of fact, what if I did it to where I could put it on their site, they could sell my product, and they wouldn't have to buy anything. As a matter of fact, all they would have to do is list it on their site. So that's what I started doing. I started calling sites. Everybody told me no. Everybody told me no. Most people wouldn't even talk to me. They didn't know who I was. Why would they, right? But I had in my mind that that was a good game plan. If I could get my food on enough sites, I would make enough money to where, I could make it. I wouldn't have to go back to my job. And then finally one day, this guy in New York was starting a website. And he says, I want to put your food on my website. I was so thrilled. I had this folder, and I filled out all of his paperwork, and I put it all in this folder, and I put it into a file cabinet. You remember file cabinets, right? I tried to get rid of some of those lately. Hard to do. So I put it in there. And the success, or so I thought success, of getting somebody to say yes to me, of getting this guy to say yes to me, and I was making probably 200 phone calls a day and hundreds of emails a day to get this one guy. And it made me feel so good. I was so motivated by the fact that somebody would actually put my stuff on their site when they got it built. Then it made me call more. It made me email more. It made me contact more people. Let me get another sip here, guys. And as I did that, I started to get a few more. I filled up more folders. Pretty soon I had like 10, 15 folders of people who were going to sell on their sites. Some of the sites were already up. Some of them, they were working on them. And that built up. And it built up to the point where I made enough money. But then they started contacting me going, you've got these freeze-dried foods. Most of the stuff's vegetarian. Do you have any type of protein? So I checked out canned meats. I checked out freeze-dried meats first. And it was really bad stuff. It was like these crumbles of meat, and you'd add water, it just looked like mush. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to sell that. I just thought it was bad. I didn't think it was a good thing. How did you go about finding another reliable survival food? No, I came up with mine. I came up with my own. I found manufacturing and did all that. So that's how I went about it. So then I started investigating meat. What could you do with meat? And we came up with a process. And the process was to can meat that was raw and then cook the entire can, and that would give it a really long shelf life because no air, no bacteria got to it. And I started that process, and I offered that to all of my retailers, the people who had my products on their sites. And lo and behold, it took off. It did really well. I mean, really, really well. I mean, like millions of dollars well. And I sell that product to this day. It's called Survivalcave food. We sell beef, chicken, turkey, pork, and ground beef. I said it pretty fast because I've done it for a lot of years. And we have 28-ounce cans and 14.5-ounce cans. And during the pandemic, I shouldn't say that word, during the illness, we sold a lot of it. But let's go back about 3 or 4 years. I had sold a lot of this, and people started asking me, well, how do I make money online, JR? How do I do that? I want to make money online. So I started assisting people, helping them, telling them what to do, how to market, how to find products, how to develop products. And then one day somebody pulled me aside at ClickBank and said, you ought to do a course where you teach people how to do this stuff, how you actually make money online. And I think this was 2000, I want to say 15, 16. And I came out with a course called Digital Cash Academy. Digital Cash Academy, they actually interviewed me on ClickBank for this particular course, and it did awesome. We did like over $300,000 in 72 hours with this course. And then all of a sudden it kind of, a light bulb went off to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, courses. A course is something I can make money at. And I still have my survival food company going. And then I came out with another course because I realized people were marketing online. They needed a course on how to do ads. I had been successful with Facebook ads, so I did a course called Facebook Ads University. And you're going to find links for all these things below in the description when this is over with. So I came out with this course called Facebook Ads University. It did exceptionally well. And then I came out with Ecom Road, which walked people through building a Shopify store. And at the same time, I was doing nighttime classes for businesses in San Diego, and I was filming those where I would teach local businesses how to market online. And I took all those videos and put them together after I did that for a couple years. And I put together a course called Web Cash Academy, and I started selling that. After that, I went into coaching. I started teaching individuals how to make money online, one-on-one. They would pay a fee every month, and I started off at $500, then I went to $1,500, then I was at $2,500 a month, and they got 2 phone calls a week, and they got some email assistance, and I was making money at that. And then one of my last coaching clients paid me in excess of I think $66,000 it was for 3 months, and I was just working a few hours a month, and I was making like $2,000 an hour. It was insane. But I didn't like doing the coaching, so I quit doing the coaching. I don't offer it to anybody anymore, unfortunately. So if you want to be coached, I do not do that anymore. I do help some people for free. I do that, and I'll take one-off jobs where if somebody needs like a job done for a particular company, I'll do that. But here's the moral of the story, guys. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what was going to happen. The only thing I knew for sure every single day is that I was going to work my butt off. And I knew this in face of no matter what failures I had. And I had a lot of them. And I left out a few of the failures. I had a warehouse that I was stuck in at one point and owed hundreds of thousands of dollars on. It was crazy. But the point is, if you want to make money online, the number one thing you got to do is get started. You've got to get started. You've got to get started. And I don't mean order some samples and not do anything else. I mean, you need to get stuff up online. You need to try to sell your products. You need to market your products. You need to lose some money. It's going to happen. You're going to lose some money. Nobody wants to hear that. No, everybody wants to say, I've got this foolproof way that anybody can make money online. And I call BS on that. That doesn't happen. You're going to lose some money as you're learning. Why did you quit coaching? I quit coaching, James, because people are lazy and they don't always listen to what I tell them to do. If I coach somebody, I want you to be immensely successful. And if you don't do what I tell you to do, which a lot of people are lazy, even though they're paying me. I had one guy that paid me $9,000, and it was for about 2 months of training, and it was going to be about 4 or 5 hours a month, and he took like 1.5 hours, and then he never showed up again. And he paid the money up front. And that's not the only time that happened. I had somebody else that paid me like $15,000, and they showed up 2 or 3 times, and then they didn't show up again. And it's like the people were lazy, and I don't want anybody that I coach to not be successful, because that comes back on me. If that person is not successful and I coached them, then all of a sudden it's my fault. But what was happening is with some of these people is they weren't serious. I mean, they wanted to spend money, but they didn't want to do the work that I assigned them. And that drove me crazy, because I'm like, you could make this money. Why don't you do this thing here? And they're like, oh, I will. I'll get to it. I've been busy with the wife and the kids and job and blah, blah. And they just wouldn't do what I asked them to do. So I determined at that point, I wouldn't do any coaching. I would help companies market. So, you can hire me, pay me 10 grand, 20 grand or whatever, and I'll do your emails or I'll do your sales pages or whatever for you. But as far as getting you to do something, that's so hard to do. To get people to do the stuff they're supposed to do, and it just infuriated me. So I was like, I don't have to do this. I don't need this money. I can make, but besides that, I can make more money by working on my own stuff than by helping you work on your stuff. I mean, it only makes sense, right? If I'm doing my own stuff, I can make more money than if I tell you how to do something and you go out and make money. I don't like the idea of coaching. So now what I do is group coaching. I do have a couple plans. I have my Inner Circle, J.R. Fisher Inner Circle. I also have the e-business toolbox, which you can be a member of. And you can find any of that stuff on my sites. I'm not selling you any of my courses in here today. I'm just doing a live training. I've heard we learn to make good decisions by first making bad decisions. Yeah, and that's very true. You've got to make decisions. I think that's the biggest problem with people is they don't do anything. They don't make decisions. They don't put forth effort. And then they expect results. And it doesn't work that way, guys. I know all these gurus and these coaches have told you for years that all you got to do is buy their course and you're going to be rich. You're not. All you're going to do is get the information to help you work on something. That's it. That's all you're going to get. You can't possibly believe that by purchasing a book or a course, you're going to get rich. And I'm not saying don't buy books and courses. I have tons of books up there. I bought a lot of courses. I bought a lot of training. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on training so I would learn stuff. But the point is, I apply it. I do it. When I buy something, if I get a book, I'm going to read it. If I buy a course, I'm going to go through the course. I'm going to apply the course material. And I'm going to figure out what works and what doesn't work for me. But that's the part they don't tell you. All they do is provide you the information. And the other part is if you're buying a course from somebody and they no longer do that thing, okay, so let's say somebody's selling you a course for drop shipping and they don't drop ship anymore, all they do is sell courses. My question is why? Because you can make more money drop shipping than you can selling courses. It's just a fact. And you know, besides that, drop shipping doesn't take a whole lot of work once you get it set up. Why would you quit doing it? The only reason you'd quit doing that is because maybe you sold a little bit, you kind of know what to do, and you decide you want to do a course because it's easier to make money that way. And courses for me are not easier because I put a lot of effort into it. I put a lot of hours into my courses, and they will make you money as long as you work. Okay, there's the key. They in themselves don't make anybody any money. I had somebody buy a course from me the other day, and they said, I bought your course, so I know I'm going to make millions of dollars now. And I said, no, not at all. That's not true. You can buy my course, but that doesn't mean you're going to make any money. You have to apply yourself. You have to work. And the person said, well, you know I'm hardworking. And I didn't know this person. And I knew they were an okay worker. I didn't think of them as a hard worker. And then a couple weeks later, that person said, hey, I think your training, and I talked about this the other day, your training in your course is about the same as what is on YouTube. So I'd like to cancel the course and get my money back on that and just watch your YouTube videos. And I thought to myself, and I thought, no, it's not. My courses are entirely different from what I talk about on YouTube. YouTube, I give you instruction, sure. But I don't give you the kind of instruction I give you in my courses. I mean, that would be ridiculous, right? Something that you pay for, you deserve more, you get more. So I went back and looked, and we have software that monitors when somebody logs in, what they watch on a course, how far they went into the course, and lo and behold, this person hadn't watched a single video, not one. So I went back to her and I said, yeah, we refund your money if you go through the course and you apply the material and you don't get results. But you didn't do anything. You didn't log in. You didn't go through any of the courses. You didn't do anything. And her reply was, oh, I must have logged in the wrong place. Yeah, that must be what it is. Haven't heard from her since. And that's the point, guys. And I hope you get the gist of today. Today is not a brag fest about what I did, because if you notice throughout this whole story I told you, I had a lot of problems. I had a lot of things go wrong. I came to the end many times, but I just didn't let it in because I didn't want to go back to the job. Just like today, and I do the same thing today. It's no different today. Every single day is new for me, to where I know I've got to go do something to make some money. I've got to do that. I'm not going to sit back. Could I sit back for the next year, 2 years, and just let money roll in? Yeah, probably. But it scares me. What if one of those things goes wrong? I don't ever want to be like that. I don't ever want to quit. I don't ever want to do that. And I think when you quit, when you sit back, when you retire, whatever you want to call it, you realize you don't have a value to the world. And if you don't have a value to the world and you're not producing and doing something, I think you're going to die. I really do, because you just don't, when you get up in the morning, there's nowhere to be. Nobody needs you. So I want to be needed every day, right? I want to be somewhere every day. I want to teach people every day. I want to help people every single day. And I know in doing so and helping these people, I'll get enough of what I need to keep going. Let's see here. Holy bum. I'm missing Paul's insightful questions and comments today. Hey, no kidding. Where is Paul? That's kind of weird, right? Paul, where are you? This is a call to Paul. And that rhymes. That's pretty good, right? So guys, that's my story. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you see that it's not finding the perfect product. It's not perfect timing. Though all those things will happen if you work. You won't find perfect timing if you're not out working. You'll never discover perfect timing, okay? And even if it is perfect timing, it can go sideways on you, and you got to be able to deal with that. It went sideways many times for me. Many times it went sideways, and it will for you too. But if you realize you just keep pushing forward, you keep working, and if you don't stop, and people have probably told you this whole life, if you don't stop, you can't fail. And it's so true. The only failures are people who are quitters. If you're a quitter, you're a failure automatically. You could be starting the hottest new thing that's ever been in the market, but if you quit on it, you're a failure. Okay, even though you had the hottest product out there and the best marketing and everything, but if you quit and you don't do anything, you're a failure. That's what a failure is. A failure is not somebody who tries something and it doesn't work out. You could say I was a failure at selling stuff online because I sold cell phone cases and I didn't do well. I sold camping gear and I barely did well. But then I came up with the survival food and it did really well. And that waxes and wanes too, depending on who's in political office, what's going on in the world. I mean, the illness in 2020, I mean, brought in tons of money for us, and it was awesome. However, you know, it's slacked off since then, but my courses are doing well and my YouTube's doing well. And by the way, if you can help me out by subscribing or by getting somebody to subscribe, that's even better. That will watch the channel. I don't want subscribers that won't. I need 6. I would like to have 6 more subscribers by tomorrow morning, and I'll hit that 5,000 mark. 6. I only need 6. I'm not asking for a lot. The other day I wanted like 100 and something from you guys. Now I want 6. And after you subscribe, make sure you ring the bell. Turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live. That's really important too. And I'm trying to switch my screen here. I apologize, guys. There we go. Back to my other screen. But that's my story. So if you think, you know, it's easy to make money online, you're wrong. Is it simple? Yes, it's very simple. Work hard every single day. Work hard every single day. Work hard every single day. That's what it is. Don't quit. Never quit. Never quit. Don't quit. Keep looking for new ways. Obstacles are signals that you need to turn and do something else. So if I'm going down a path and there's a brick wall in front of me, I'm going to go over the brick wall. I'm going to go around the brick wall. I'm going to go through the brick wall. I'm not going to say there's a brick wall, I need to turn around and go back, because I had a lot of instances where I should have turned around and gone back, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing it. Not frigging doing it. I got to work out today. I got to do my push-ups, keep those muscles up, right? I got to do my push-ups today, and I know at some point when I'm doing these push-ups, I'm going to feel like I can't do this. This is really hard. I can't go any further. The other day I set my record, and it's nothing to some people. It's a lot to me. I did 128 push-ups, and I was like, wow, that's pretty good. And understand, I do 3 segments of 40 seconds. So I'll do 40 seconds, as many as I can, 40 seconds, as many as I can, 40 seconds, as many as I can. But the thing is, I'm not going to quit. I don't care how hard it is. I don't care if it hurts. It doesn't matter. If it hurts, that's a sign that weakness is leaving my body. That's what pain is. Pain is weakness leaving your body when you're exercising. So it's super important that you do that. And that's the way you're going to be successful. Doesn't sound easy, and it's not really easy, but it is very simple. It's a very simple thing. Just keep going, keep trying, don't stop, period. If you guys have any questions about any of this, feel free to put it in the live chat. If you're watching this after I went live, okay, so you may be watching this as a recorded video, you can still put your comments and suggestions and questions in that comment section below. There won't be a chat for you, but you can put it in the comment section. I would appreciate a thumbs up if you would give me that. That thumbs up would mean a whole lot. When you like one of my videos, and you got to do it to all of them. Don't think because you liked one video then that's it. No, it's got to be done with every video, because that's how the YouTube algorithm works. It needs you to like every single video for it to keep, you know, showing my videos to other people. What else we got in here? I'm amazed that you find the time to research all this valuable information. You know, there's a lot of time in a day. I mean, there really is. I mean, you think of all the downtime we have during the day doing menial stuff, watching TV shows, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. And generally, I'll have 2 or 3 things going. I've got this camera up here now. I've got this laptop, this iPad right here, where I'm, you know, conversing with you guys and I'm reading your comments. Then over here, I had a live feed I was watching off to the side of an exercise person. And I try to, you know, get some work done. That's it. Just try to get some work done. Tomorrow's a big day for me. I'm going to get my 2nd COVID shot. Oh my God. And get that done. Supposed to do that. Gonna have lunch with one of my best friends, Luigi, who's 86. He'll be 87 tomorrow. I met him when I was in my 20s. That's how long we've been friends. I won't get into how long that was, but it's, I think, 34 years, something like that, that I've known Luigi. Great friend of mine. He's a retired attorney. His wife's a great person. She's a financial analyst, kind of investor person who owns a investment firm, who is retiring over the next month now too. So I got stuff to look forward to. What do you got to look forward to? And if you say to yourself, I don't have anything to look forward to, get something. Pick something. Look for something of interest. Find something that interests you. Find something that you want to accomplish. You know, maybe it's running a marathon. You know, maybe it's doing 10 pull-ups. Maybe it's making, you know, $10,000 a month online. Find something that's going to make you get up out of bed every single morning. Why do you get up out of bed? You get up out of bed to accomplish something every single day. What does this say? There it is. There it is. That's what you do, okay? That's how often you do it. Because if you get up, you got to make something happen. You got to make something happen. What have you created? What have you contributed to the world today? What have you done? That's what I would leave you with today. Guys, I really appreciate you listening. I appreciate all your comments. I appreciate you being here. Do you have any reaction to the shot? I'm not quite sure what you mean by the shot, James. If you can elaborate that, I'll stay on for a minute so I can answer that for you. The shot. Oh, I'm sorry. That's kind of dumb. The vaccine. I had zero reaction to it. Now, what I've been told, though, is that the second one is where you get sick. You could get sick and have a fever and feel terrible. My son, who's a very healthy bodybuilder guy, got the second shot and he got real sick. He says he had a fever all night long and toss and turn and sweats and all that. My friend who I just talked about, Luigi, who's 86, had both shots and had zero reaction, nothing. And he's also a terminal cancer patient and has been for over 10 years. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll know tomorrow. Anyhow, I'm supposed to go at 4 o'clock. So I can certainly rest for the rest of the day if I need to do that. I'll let you know. I'll let you know. And am I pro or anti? I'm neither one. I think you got to look at your own situation and decide, do you feel like you have risk that would warrant you getting that shot? Do you feel like you don't and you don't need it? I think it's an individual choice, 100% individual choice. I've seen a lot of stupid things that I know are stupid and that we all know are stupid. I know Vegas now is going from 50% to 80% capacity, which, okay, so far I'm good with that. But now they've said that they're going to go from, when you're indoors, from 6 feet of social distancing to 3. Now, I have a hard time with that. Here's why I have a hard time with that. If 6 feet is how you get sick, why would you go to 3 feet? If, and I say if, 6 feet is how you get sick, why would you go to 3 feet? I read an MIT professor's paper on this, and she said, and she has not been refuted, that if you go indoors, whether you're 6 feet or 60 feet away, it makes no difference. It's the same air in the room. Everybody's breathing it, and it does get circulated in the room. So the 6 feet thing indoors makes no difference. No difference. Outdoors, possibly. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. The only thing I can tell you is I see a lot of conflicting things. The other thing is they're going to open up all the buffets in Vegas, which is great, but they've got rules. Here's the rules, and I just want to share this with you to see if you think this is stupid, and you can put your comments in that chat section there if you think this is stupid. They're going to have to, it's going to be self-serve now. You can actually serve yourself on the plate, but each station needs to be supervised. What is that? What is that? What do you mean supervised? In addition to that, they're going to have hand sanitizer. Okay, I'll go along with that. And one other caveat to this, they have to change out the serving utensils once every hour. Once every hour. So I don't know how that's going to get you sick, but it does raise a concern for me that you weren't changing them before. You mean you had food on there at 12 noon on this spoon that was taken in and out and in and out and in and out, and it was the same food that was on there at 8 o'clock at night? Put in that food and out that food, and then you put more food with the old food, and you stuck the spoon back in, and you didn't change it every hour anyhow? That's my concern, is foodborne illness. The food starts to rot on the spoon. Why wouldn't you change out the spoon? That's my problem, right? So some of the rules, guys, are just crazy stuff, okay? I don't understand. They don't make sense. They contradict each other. They just friggin' contradict each other. California said that now they're going to allow you to be outside without a mask if you're fully vaccinated. Well, my understanding is if you're outside, you're not around anybody. What difference does it make anyhow? I mean, that's the most crazy thing in the world. Just insanity. I just don't understand it. I've seen whole families inside cars and they all have masks on. I've seen single people inside cars and they have a mask on. What are you protecting yourself from, or who are you protecting inside your car by yourself? I have no idea. I see it. And you know what really, really irks me? And I'm going to get out of here just 1 second. I'm going over. I know for a fact that there are certain people out there that are going to wear a mask for the rest of their lives. They are. And you know it too. And it's crazy and it's a shame because you don't need to. That's how we build our immune system. And I'm not saying expose yourself to terrible things, but come on, guys, wear a mask for the rest of your life. And you say, oh no, people aren't going to do that. Oh yes, they will. You watch. You know, this video is 2021. And if this video is around in 5 or 10 years, you look around, there's going to be people with masks on. Yeah, you're going to see them. You're going to see them. Hope you guys have a great day. I really appreciate you being here. Please do me a favor, subscribe and turn on bell notifications and give me a thumbs up. I only need 6 subscribers. Tomorrow morning, I should be there. If you guys are doing your job and you're sharing my video, that's your job, okay? My job is to train you. Your job is to disseminate information. If you're doing that, I'll have my 5,000 tomorrow morning. I hope so, guys. I'll report to you guys and let you know. Thank you.